Archangel Michael said, "You're one decision away from losing everything." Emergency energy shift detected. At precisely 3:03 a.m., the veil between realms quivered. What many dismissed as an ordinary hour in the dead of night became the holy alarm of heaven. The watchmen of the skies stood in stillness, and the trumpet did not sound aloud, but in the spirit it thundered. A rupture was felt. An emergency energy shift was detected, and the first to respond was not man, but heaven itself. Archangel Michael, defender of destinies and breaker of spiritual sieges, intercepted the breach before the damage could anchor. What was intended to drag your soul into chaos has now been exposed, and so he speaks. There is trembling in the unseen. What stirs in the air is not just change. It is judgment on delay, mercy in motion, and warning for the chosen. This is not a general announcement, beloved. This is a sacred transmission meant only for those sensitive in spirit, those who discern without needing proof, those whose ears ring not from the wind, but from the whisper of God. You have felt it. The unease, the misalignment, the sudden pulling in your chest when someone spoke carelessly, the silent nights that didn't feel restful. It was not your imagination. It was your discernment awakening. You are being called into sacred silence, for there are things heaven is finalizing that your words might interrupt. Obedience, now, is not optional. It is protection. Every step you take, every word you say, is now charged with divine significance. You stand on the threshold of decision, and not just any decision. The decision, the one that either unlocks the gate or breaks the seal. And the realm of spirit is watching, not to judge you, but to confirm what heaven already whispered about you, that you are chosen, that you are trusted, and that you are dangerous to darkness when awakened. So now, stay still and listen. This message is not delivered lightly. It comes from the throne to the trembling, from eternity into your present. Michael is moving. He is guarding the gates of your next chapter. Do not misstep. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. Listen carefully now, for the voice of the Most High resounds through his mighty messenger. Archangel Michael has descended into the spiritual battleground of your timeline, not with fear, but with fire. And he is calling out your name. He stands between what was and what could be, commanding your attention in this very moment. Your timeline has split, he declares. A divine fork has appeared on your path. Within the next 2 hours, your life will brush up against a pivotal decision. Do not let familiarity blind you to the magnitude of this hour. This is not an emotional disturbance or random discomfort. This is a divine interruption, breaking into your routine to reroute your destiny. And Michael says, "Do not sleep through this warning. Do not ignore the tug in your spirit. For everything, yes, everything, now pivots on your response. This moment hath been orchestrated, not by coincidence, but by holy design. The energy shift detected is not simply emotional, environmental, or circumstantial. It is cosmic alignment shaking loose the old frequencies that no longer match your calling. And the shaking is not over. It will intensify. Heaven's hand is removing what once soothed you but now silences your growth. Archangel Michael reveals that the veil has been torn in this timeline moment for you. This is an hour of heavenly inspection, where the next door is guarded by silence, and your next victory is hidden in the unseen reaction you are about to choose. You are not alone in this decision. You are surrounded by the hosts of heaven, watching, interceding, standing between your warfare and your breakthrough. The tension you feel, it's not fear. It's divine gravity. The weight of your assignment is pressing against every lie, every distraction, every relationship that once served your survival but now stands in the way of your ascension. Michael comes not to comfort you in delay but to awaken you into urgency. And urgency does not mean panic. It means readiness. This isn't for everyone. This message, this holy alert, this prophetic intrusion into your life, it will be dismissed by the spiritually dull. It will be misunderstood by the ego-driven. But not you. Because something in you, something eternal, knows that this moment was preordained. You've been sensing it in the silence, haven't you? That internal tug, that unshakable impression, that soft whisper that keeps repeating, it's now or never. And you're right. This is not just another crossroad. This is the split of timelines, a divine divergence between where you were and who you're becoming. Michael confirms, heaven is not waiting on your perfection. It is waiting on your obedience. You don't have to understand everything. You just have to trust the shift. Because here's the truth. Delays are not always denials. But disobedience in this hour can cost you everything that was supposed to be released into your hands. You're one decision away from either entering alignment or slipping back into cycles you were born to break. And the spiritual realm knows it. That's why the warfare has increased. That's why confusion has risen. That's why certain people have suddenly grown distant, strange, or controlling. The darkness senses what you haven't yet fully stepped into. But Michael sees it clearly. This is the hour where angels are ready to act, but only in response to your yes. The alarm was sounded at 3:03 a.m. because a holy transaction was initiated in your name. If you ignore this moment, the timeline you were meant to walk may become a memory of what could have been. But if you obey, if you quiet the noise, if you press in and listen, heaven will move with you. This is your divine interruption. Not to destroy your peace, but to reset your path. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not losing control. You are being invited to surrender. The pressure you feel is the weight of your wings being formed, not chains. Let go of what's already been judged unworthy of your next level. Do not hold on to what heaven is trying to remove. And above all, do not delay. You have 2 hours. Not as a deadline of fear, but as an urgency to act in faith. Heaven has whispered your name into the winds. Archangel Michael has marked this time on. You are standing between what was and what must be. Make no mistake, this shift is real. And your next move, yes, yours, defines everything. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And if you're being blessed by these revelations, make sure to subscribe to the channel. More prophetic insight, more urgent truth, more divine timing, straight to you. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. Something in the atmosphere has shifted, and it's not just around you. It's in you. There's a strange emotional static humming beneath your surface, isn't there? You feel it, and yet you can't quite explain it. Conversations seem normal on the outside, but your spirit flinches at the tone, at the timing, at the unnatural stillness that doesn't match what's being said. Archangel Michael is speaking clearly now. This is not confusion. It's contradiction in disguise. Someone you once trusted, someone who stood near your fire, is now sending mixed signals, not just in words, but in spiritual frequency. What once felt safe now stirs suspicion. What once calmed you now drains you. And here's the truth most won't say aloud. The people closest to you can carry the most hidden opposition. Not every friend is aligned with your fire. Not every smile is sealed in spirit. Some have lingered too long in your presence, not because they believe in you, but because they've been assigned to watch your shift, delay your step, and gently disorient your discernment. But your spirit knows. Oh, it knows. And dining in you just when you walk in a certain room. The awkward silence that follows specific questions. The eerie calm in the middle of chaos. That's not peace. That's spiritual misdirection. And it's been placed around you to keep you stuck in cycles of loyalty that cost you alignment. Michael declares, now is the time to see beyond faces and listen for frequency. Because not every enemy is loud. Some hide in small talk. Some deliver disobedience wrapped in compassion. Some discourage your obedience while pretending it's for your safety. And others speak in riddles, never directly opposing you, but always shifting the conversation just enough to make you second-guess what God already confirmed. Watch the ones who suddenly grow uncomfortable with your silence. Watch the ones who used to celebrate your progress, but now only criticize your discipline. There's an energy around them now that doesn't belong to the light, and your discernment has already registered it. Stop brushing it off. That unease you feel, it's divine protection trying to pull you out before the disguise finishes forming. Someone is watching you, spiritually. Not to admire you, but to mirror you. They are mimicking your phrases, echoing your movements, but their spirit is misaligned. Their presence comes with a weight that lingers long after the conversation ends. It's time to cleanse your atmosphere. Michael warns, they are trying to get close enough to influence your decisions in the next 72 hours. This is strategic. This is coordinated. This is not a casual shift. It is calculated interference aimed at disrupting your obedience. And if you're feeling worn out by the subtle psychological fog you've been walking through, take heart, because it means you're nearing the next realm. The enemy is not attacking your past. It's targeting your proximity to breakthrough. That's why nothing feels quite right. That's why even compliments carry a strange undertone. That's why the people you thought were pillars are now wobbling under pressure. But Michael is clearing the fog. He's pulling back the curtain. What your heart could not name, your spirit already rejected. The shaking is confirmation. The restlessness is revelation. Don't ignore it. Don't silence it. Don't talk yourself out of your own discernment. Something isn't adding up. Someone isn't who they claim to be. And that knowing inside you, that's your spirit aligning with truth faster than your mind can explain. Heaven is giving you the head start. Don't delay. Type I am protected in the comments if you feel this message piercing through the noise. Blessing code 777 is now surrounding your decisions. This is not confusion. This is warfare. What you've been experiencing is not a result of poor choices or bad timing. It is the reaction of hell to your awakening. And Archangel Michael confirms your recent obedience, your refusal to fold, your silent endurance, it shook the enemy's camp. They weren't ready for your alignment. They never thought you'd wake up to your worth. They never expected you to pull back from the emotional bait. But now, every step you've taken toward divine purpose has activated a level of resistance you weren't supposed to survive. But you are surviving it. You are walking through fire with no smell of smoke. You are standing in storms with stillness. And that's what's agitating darkness. Your calling is not just threatening systems. It is confronting territorial spirits that have claimed your bloodline for generations. What you are carrying is not just favor. It is freedom for the lineage behind you and the legacy ahead of you. This is why it feels so intense. This is why the pushback is not logical. Because it's not logical. It's spiritual. The conflict is strategic opposition, not chaos. The attacks were not accidents. They were permissioned, only to reveal what cannot go with you into the next. And Michael is reminding you now, heaven hath been watching, not from a distance but from within your decisions. Nothing you faced has gone unnoticed. Every moment you chose silence instead of retaliation, obedience over comfort, prayer over petness, heaven recorded it. Your silence was never weakness. It was your weapon. And it's been working. Because silence in the spirit is not absence. It is alignment. It confuses the enemy. It disarms the trap. It routs destruction. The enemy wanted your reaction. But you gave God your stillness. And that is power. This is not just about your discomfort. This is about your calling being validated through conflict. The storm isn't punishment, it's confirmation. The devil doesn't fight what he's not afraid of. And clearly hell is afraid of you. The betrayal wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to test whether you would betray yourself in the process. And you didn't. Archangel Michael says, you passed the test not with answers, but with restraint. And now, heaven is shifting from observation to intervention. But hear this clearly. You must continue to operate from spirit, not flesh. Your feelings may flare. Your emotions may scream. But your next victory is not won through rage. It is preserved through restraint. Let them talk. Let them assume. Let them plot. You are above the noise now. Michael has drawn the line. The enemy's access is being revoked. But you must remain silent in the flesh and loud in the spirit. Praise when they expect protest. Fast when they expect fury. Withdraw when they expect woe. Because your posture in this moment decides what you inherit in the next. The spiritual realm is shifting again. The alarms have not ceased. But now they are sounding in celebration. You've survived the ambush. You've endured the false accusation. And you are crossing over from the war zone into the promotion platform. Just don't look back. Don't reach for what already revealed its inability to go forward with you. Don't explain your movement. Heaven never apologizes for aligning someone with destiny. And neither should you. Type I am in alignment in the comments if this confirms what your soul has already sensed. Blessing code 303 is now active over your journey. The countdown has already begun. Even now, the heavens are ticking. The unseen clock has struck the edge of urgency. Within 72 hours, you will be placed in a moment that demands your clarity, not your comfort. Archangel Michael stands in divine posture, flaming sword drawn, not to strike, but to defend what's been spoken over you. He whispers the bait is being set. Stay awake. Stay clean. Stay aligned. A forced decision is approaching, and it will disguise itself as something harmless. It may come through a conversation that seems innocent. A text message cloaked in fake concern. A voice that echoes the past trying to pull you back into old habits. But the real aim is to sabotage your spiritual precision. This isn't about emotions. This is a trap of misalignment, carefully wrapped in logic, pity, and old soul ties. Michael warns, someone is preparing to bait you. They don't even fully know what they're being used for. But they've made themselves available to the wrong spirit. The offer will come dressed in concern. The conversation will come laced with manipulation, and the atmosphere will feel just familiar enough to fool your flesh if you're not fully tuned into the frequency of God. You must see this clearly. This is a high-level test disguised as a low-level interaction. If you respond emotionally, you will descend spiritually. If you take the bait, you will not just delay, you will deter. Your destiny is under direct surveillance now. Heaven is watching not just your response, but your readiness. This decision must be made not in haste, but in holiness. Don't consult your pain. Don't revisit your trauma. Don't justify your disobedience by calling it compassion. The enemy wants you triggered. He wants you unstable. He wants you to feel torn so that you act without spiritual clarity. But Michael says, you are not torn. You are being tested. There will be a moment, very soon, where peace will try to flee and pressure will try to speak louder than purpose. You must not listen to the noise. Storms always rise before divine clarity arrives. This is the crescendo of the energy shift. It has not yet peaked, but it is cresting. In the spirit, the waves are clashing. The shaking is not punishment. It is divine positioning. The person, the situation, the opportunity that presents itself in this next window, it is not what it seems. You must remember, not all open doors come from God. Some are designed distractions. Some are exits from destiny. And some are invitations to familiar bondage. If it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. If it demands your silence, your compromise, or your lowered standard to stay in it, it is not divine. Do not sell your destiny for temporary comfort. You are one decision away from a divine reward, or a spiritual wear out. Michael's words are firm. Stand guard. You are nearing the most delicate gate of your life. Don't let weariness become the voice that makes your choices. You were born for more than emotional bargaining. You were born for more than pleasing people who are offended by your elevation. Your assignment is not up for vote. Your calling does not require approval. Your breakthrough will not come through compromise. It will come through covenant obedience. Now is not the time to consult opinions. Now is not the time to explain your path. Now is the time to step with unwavering discernment. The energy shift that started at 3:03 a.m. is nearing its prophetic zenith. Do not allow your next move to break the seal of what heaven has been preparing. This decision, it is a dividing line. Your destiny is not a playground, and your future is not for negotiation. Choose right, move pure, and trust the silence. Type I will choose destiny in the comments if this speaks directly to your soul. Lesson code 444 is now protecting your decision window. Section VI, protective guidance 700 plus words. Archangel Michael said you're one decision away from losing everything. Emergency energy shift detected. In the eye of the storm, there is a call, not to battle, but to be still. Archangel Michael is not calling you to fight in your flesh. He is commanding you to retreat into divine silence, where heaven fights on your behalf. Be still, he says, and let heaven handle your enemies. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to argue, explain, or defend. In this sacred stillness is your strength. It is in this hush that power accumulates. The stillness is not passive. It is strategic. It is your spiritual concealment, your heavenly armor. While the world stirs in drama and chaos, while the enemy attempts to provoke you into reaction, you are being instructed to withdraw. Not in weakness, but in wisdom. You've been drained by conversations that only circled back to confusion. You've wasted energy trying to fix what heaven already condemned. Now, you're being invited into a different kind of power, the power of sacred silence. This is where your next breakthrough hides. Not in louder declarations, not in aggressive action, but in your ability to trust that what you don't respond to cannot touch your anointing. Michael reminds you, your silence is not surrender, it is security. You are being moved into a realm where explanation is no longer required, and validation is no longer necessary. Let the critics speak. Let the manipulators press. Let the ones who once praised you now fall silent. Your focus is not on proving them wrong, it's on staying aligned long enough for God to prove himself right through you. In the sacred retreat, your spirit will sharpen. The Holy Spirit is heightening your intuition now, preparing you to discern even in darkness. You will feel before you see. You will know before it unfolds. You will move not by logic, but by divine prompting. That inner tug. It's not anxiety, it's divine awareness awakening. You are entering the season where you will sense the enemy before he even speaks. Affirm this now. No weapon formed shall find me unguarded. That's not just a declaration. It's a covenant. Heaven is surrounding your stillness with fire. Angels are posted around your home, your mind, your movement. While others are distracted, you are being covered. Withdraw without explanation. Leave without debate. Say less. Move more. Those who need answers are not entitled to them. Let your silence speak for you. Because this stillness, it's holy, is your strategy. It's your sanctuary. You will hear less noise, yes, but you will also feel more clarity. That's how you know you're shifting. The fog is lifting. The clutter is clearing. What's being removed is no longer aligned, and what remains will be what was refined. You are no longer in the proving season. You are in the preparing season. Heaven is not asking you to fight. Heaven is asking you to trust. And when you do, Michael assures, the victory will not be delayed. It will be delivered in silence and seen by all. You are stepping into territory your voice can't carry you, but your stillness will. If this word has ignited something in your spirit, consider sowing into this revelation with a super thanks, with contributions up to $20. Your support fuels the fire and helps us keep releasing prophetic insight just like this. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a shift, a word, or a divine warning sent for your season. Type "I choose silence" in the comments to activate this protective word. Blessing code 555 now shields your sacred ground. You are no longer who they remember. The version of you they tried to manipulate, dismiss, gaslight, control, that version has died. Archangel Michael speaks with authority. You are not the person they once misused. What they underestimated was your ability to grow through pain. What they didn't see coming was your rebirth in silence. You were never abandoned. You were being reforged in the fire. Every tear that fell, every betrayal you endured, every time you questioned if you were enough at all worked to form something unshakable inside of you. You've been tempered, tested, and transformed. This recent warfare wasn't just a battle. It was a spiritual detox. Everything that was still fragile in you was brought to the surface, not to break you, but to be healed. You are not weak, you are weaponized. Heaven is lifting you now above the insults, the accusations, and the whisper campaigns of those who feared your rise. And the shift is not just happening around you, it's happening through you. You've been feeling the inner restlessness not because you're behind, but because your wings are forming. You're trying to crawl in spaces you're now called to fly above. The discomfort has nothing to do with failure and everything to do with altitude. You can't stay where it's comfortable when you've been designed for the clouds. There are people still trying to relate to the old you, still trying to drag you into old conversations, still trying to put your identity inside a box you've outgrown. But heaven says no more. Michael declares, your wings are ready. Your ground season is over. You've carried weight you were never meant to hold just to make others feel safe in your presence. You've shrunk your light so others wouldn't feel exposed. You've ignored your spirit so you wouldn't be called difficult. But now the price of that has become too high. Heaven is calling you to elevation, and elevation requires separation. Your identity is not based on their memory of you. It's based on heaven's prophecy over you. And the trials, they were not punishment. They were activation points. Each one unlocked a deeper anointing, a stronger fire, a louder yes in your soul. Every time you didn't give up, every time you forgave without closure, every time you chose obedience over offense, you rose. Even when you didn't feel it, even when your soul was weary, your spirit was ascending. Don't go back to familiar cages now. Don't return to places that only celebrated your brokenness, but felt threatened by your healing. The shift has declared you free, and freedom will cost you the version of life that made you feel safe in survival. But hear me now. Survival is not your final form. You are a builder, a breaker of chains, a carrier of glory, and heaven's answer to generational decay. To soar. Don't explain. Don't justify. Don't apologize. Those who are meant to rise with you will adjust to the altitude. The rest are lessons, not assignments. Heaven doesn't build in comfort. It builds through pressure. What you thought was an attack was actually architectural. God was forming you into a structure that can carry prophetic weight. That's why it's been so heavy. That's why you've been isolated. Because what you carry requires a sacred structure around it. Not everyone can hold it. Not everyone should touch it. And now you see, you're not broken. You're being built. You are rising. You are becoming. You are emerging. Type I am rising in the comments to seal this word. Blessing code 1221 is now establishing your new identity. Hear this now. This is your spiritual graduation. The pressure, the delay, the misdirection, the warfare, it was not random. It was curriculum. The fire was your classroom. The silence was your syllabus. And the confusion was the exam. You didn't just survive it. You passed it. Heaven is now issuing the decree through Archangel Michael. Promotion has been authorized. You've been refined for divine release. This is why it all intensified. The attacks didn't mean you were losing. They meant the oil on your life was becoming visible. The shaking didn't mean God abandoned you. It meant heaven was shifting the weight of glory into place. You were not under attack. You were under construction. And now that the structure is stable, the next dimension is being released. Your name is echoing in heaven's throne room. What God has whispered over you in private is about to be confirmed in public. Yes, they heard. Yes, you almost quit. Yes, you had moments where faith felt like fiction. But you stayed. You stood. You obeyed when it didn't make sense. And that obedience was your yes, your agreement with the divine timeline that heaven already mapped for you. That yes caused a chain reaction in the spirit. Angels moved. Assignments were rearranged. And divine appointments were unlocked. You weren't denied. You were delayed for protection. Heaven was preparing the environment before releasing you into it. Because where you're going, premature exposure could have crippled the mission. But now the conditions are right. The testing season has passed. This is the moment where you step out of waiting and into walking. Michael's voice rings with power. The pressure was permission. You were tested not for disqualification but for confirmation. The enemy didn't know the full extent of your anointing, but he could sense it. That's why the warfare felt personal. Because it was. Your surrender made you a target. But now your surrender makes you a vessel. This is your commissioning. The throne has approved your advancement. The oil is flowing. The anointing is stirring. The favor is ready. But heaven needs one final yes. One full-hearted, eyes wide open, no turning back kind of yes. Not a yes of desperation, but a yes of destiny. The kind of yes that opens gates no man can shut. This isn't loss. It's transformation wearing the disguise of detachment. Everything that fell away, everyone that left, everything that collapsed, it wasn't rejection, it was refinement. And what's coming will not even compare to what you thought you lost. Because now, the favor you walk in is not borrowed, it's birthed. The shift is complete. The testing has produced clarity. And the next door is not unlocked by works. It is unlocked by identity alignment. You're not begging to enter. You're being summoned. That's why you felt unseen, hidden, isolated. God was protecting the blueprint. He was hiding the masterpiece until the gallery was ready. And now the unveiling begins. If this word confirms something deep in your spirit, we invite you to bless this ministry through a super thanks with contributions of $5, $10, or $20. Every seed you sow helps us continue to release powerful content like this. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more divine alerts, heavenly downloads, and spiritual strategies that keep you aligned, equipped, and elevated. Type I am promoted in the comments to claim your prophetic graduation. Blessing code 888 is now releasing new divine access over your life. It is time. You've come to the gate. The fog is lifted. The whispers of heaven are louder than ever. And now, Archangel Michael stands beside you, not with warning this time, but with activation. His sword is not raised to fight for you. It is raised to commission you. The realm of heaven awaits your next word, because what happens next does not depend on what they said about you but what you say about your calling. Declare it now. I say yes to the call on my life. Not the borrowed calling of another. Not the pressured calling to fit into systems. Not the wounded calling shaped by trauma. But the divine calling, the one written in heaven before time touched you. That yes is not just permission, it's ignition. That yes isn't just spiritual, it's structural. The moment you declare it from your core, everything that belongs to your destiny starts to move into position. There are alignments waiting for your obedience. Appointments that have been delayed only because heaven would not waste destiny on divided focus. But now, because you have stayed, because you have surrendered, because you have silenced the voices of fear and chosen faith, doors are unlocking. Angels are activating. Paths are clearing. The environment is being rearranged to accommodate your calling. But it begins with your yes. The mind will still ask for clarity. The flesh will still seek validation. But Michael reminds you now, clarity is not the requirement. Faith is. You don't need to know every detail before you obey. Obedience is not about understanding. It's about trust. It's about responding when the Spirit says move, even if your emotions say wait. This moment is not about logic. It is about alignment. And your full, fearless obedience is what separates delay from destiny. Archangel Michael declares with piercing force, power waits on the other side of surrendered obedience. You've asked for breakthrough, but heaven asks for your feet to start moving. The breakthrough has been waiting on you to show up in the place of your next becoming. Don't wait for the feeling. Walk into the fire of your next instruction. Because obedience is not about how you feel, it's about what you believe. And what you believe about God in this hour determines what you're ready to carry. This is not about hype. This is holy. Your destiny is not trending. It's timeless. It is tied to souls you haven't met, lives you haven't touched, and miracles that only you were assigned to deliver. But none of it activates until you choose to act, not someday, not soon, but now. Say yes even when you feel unprepared. Say yes when the crowd goes silent. Say yes when it costs your comfort. Say yes when your hands tremble but your heart burns. Heaven is not looking for the perfect. It is searching for the willing. For those who would rather walk alone with God than dance with the crowd without Him. So speak it again. I say yes. This is your unlocking. This is the moment you step out of waiting and into divine alignment. Your name has been echoing in heaven, and now heaven is releasing what your yes has made room for. This moment is sacred. This is more than affirmation. It is activation. Destiny had been hovering. Now it lands. Type my YES activates destiny in the comments if you receive this confirmation. Blessing code 911 is now charging the gates before you. Section X. The silent exchange in the spirit realm. 700 plus words. Archangel Michael said you're one decision away from losing everything. Emergency energy shift detected. There is a transaction happening in silence. Unseen, unheard, but undeniably holy. Archangel Michael stands not in warfare now, but in negotiation. In the depths of the unseen, where angels move and scrolls are read, your name is in circulation. And not verlies. What was held back is now being assessed for return. Heaven has recorded your tears, the kind no one saw. The prayers you whispered beneath your breath when your world was falling apart. The moments you stood between quitting and believing. Not 1 second was wasted. The silence you carried was louder in the spirit than 1,000 screams. And now, heaven is responding. Michael reveals, the exchange has begun. What was taken from you, relationships, resources, opportunities, is now being multiplied in return. Not because you fought for it, but because you surrendered it. This is the mystery of the kingdom, that what you release in faith is returned in fire. Your silence became currency in the spirit realm, and the exchange rate is divine. You didn't lose, that was sown. What looked like a breakdown was a breakthrough being planted underground. While others laughed, while they walked away, while you wrestled with your worth, heaven was taking note. Every sacrifice, every delay, every time you kept your mouth shut when you wanted to speak your pain out loud. That silence, it echoed into the courts of God. And now the balance is shifting. You're no longer in a season of waiting. You're in a season of recompense. Things are coming back. Favor is returning. Honor is being restored. But not as it was, multiplied, elevated, refined. The version of you that lost it is not the version of you receiving it. That's why you had to change. That's why you had to be remade. Because what's being released can only be carried by the healed you, the empowered you, the obedient you. There is a silent exchange happening. While you sleep, Heaven works. While you rest, angels move. While you worship in weakness, the spirit realm finalizes what's been negotiated in surrender. You don't have to fight for it. You only have to stay aligned for it. And Michael confirms, it will come swiftly. It will come silently. But when it arrives, it will be undeniable. That restlessness you felt lately, it's the tension of two realms overlapping. It's your spirit stretching ahead of your understanding. You are already shifted. The mind just hasn't caught up yet. That's why nothing feels familiar. That's why you feel detached from old environments. Because your spirit is already walking in the new thing, and now heaven is catching your body up to what your soul has already claimed. The trades have been finalized. The spiritual documents are sealed. Now you must keep walking in the rhythm of the unseen. No distractions. No detours. Just silent trust. And yes, the ones who mocked you will wonder how you made it. But you won't need to explain. They won't be able to trace it, because what's happening now is supernatural. It can't be explained. It can only be discerned. Michael stands over the gates of release and speaks, "You've been faithful in secret. And now watch me reward you in silence. No fanfare. No flashing lights. Just open doors. Just sudden peace. Just divine compensation that cannot be denied. Hold your posture. Protect your energy. Stay in praise. What is yours is being delivered, not with noise, but with heaven's quiet confidence. Also, if you've been blessed by this message, consider showing your support through a super thanks, with contributions of $10. Every gift keeps this voice speaking into lives across the world. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss the next word that heaven has for you in your journey. Type "I receive the exchange" in the comments to align with this mystery. Blessing code 1010 is now sealing your divine return. Now the scales are trembling. The courtroom of heaven has shifted from deliberation to declaration. The one who sits on the throne has reviewed every accusation, every lie, every betrayal, and every tear. And now, the judgment is being issued. This is the hour of reversal. Archangel Michael stands, sword lowered, not in defeat, but in divine satisfaction. Because what the enemy meant for humiliation, God has now turned into heavenly exaltation. Every lie they told about you is reversing in truth. Every whisper that tried to assassinate your name is echoing back with exposure. They plotted in shadows, but the light is now shining with force. And not to defend you, but to vindicate you. The truth isn't just coming to the surface, it's rising like a flood. You won't need to defend yourself, because the Spirit is defending you better than any argument ever could. You stayed silent when you were provoked. You chose restraint when your name was thrown into pits of gossip. You chose stillness when flesh demanded war. And now justice is moving like thunder wrapped in grace. Michael announces, "The words spoken against you have been returned to sender, and the consequences are now visible in the Spirit. They curse your name. They cursed your progress. They sowed seeds of slander hoping to see your downfall. But heaven was watching. Every tongue that rose against you has now been condemned, not by your hands, but by the justice of a holy God who will not allow the chosen to be shamed by cowards. You were publicly shamed in silence. But now you will be publicly restored in power. The elevation is not out of ego, it is compensation for every private season of humiliation you endure. What you carried in secret is being crowned in sight, and they will witness it, not for your pride, but for their repentance. Because heaven's vengeance doesn't look like revenge, it looks like restoration with witnesses. God is balancing the scales, and it will be subtle. He is reordering relationships, reversing false labels, elevating those who humbled themselves, exposing those who performed righteousness while hiding venom in their hearts. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. Not as a slogan, but as a spiritual verdict. Those who weaponized grace against you will now face the mirror of exposure, and those who thought you were too small, too broken, too late, they will now witness what favor really looks like. There is no need to gloat. There is no room for pride, because this elevation is not about being seen. It's about being sent. This reversal isn't about vanity. It's about validation from the courts of heaven. And what God is doing in you now cannot be touched, stopped, or silenced. You've graduated from begging for respect to walking in spiritual royalty. You don't need their apology. You don't need their validation. You don't need their explanation. Because heaven has already spoken. And when heaven speaks, the earth must bow. So keep walking. Edad or clean. Let the reversal speak for itself. Because what's coming will shut every mouth that mocked, confused, or underestimated you. And in the silence that follows your rise, there will be holy fear, not of you, but of the God who kept you, of the God who lifted you, of the God who prepared a table in the presence of those who once treated you like crumbs. Michael is watching the table now, and he says, "Eat. Dine in dignity. Heaven serves what the world denied you. This is your season of divine reversal, and no man, no system, no lie can steal what God just returned." Type "I receive justice" in the comments if this word confirms your season. Blessing code 1212 is now releasing divine reversal over your life. You are seen. You are sealed. You are sacred. This is our motivational message. This is not spiritual hype. This is divine reality. Heaven has spoken your name with fire. Your identity is no longer up for negotiation. The battles you faced weren't signs of abandonment. They were the evidence of your weight, your significance, your assignment. Archangel Michael now wraps this word with an eternal seal. The decision has been made. You have chosen obedience, and heaven responds with covenant covering. You are not walking alone. You are not stepping into mystery without protection. The very angels that ward for your destiny are now encamped around your journey. Not one step is unseen. Not one tear will be forgotten. Not one sacrifice will be wasted. The peace you now feel, that holy stillness that blankets you even as you hear these words, that is not coincidence. That is the peace of divine completion. The storm has passed. The shift has occurred. The judgment is rendered. And now you rise. You are not the same person who began this journey. You are not bound by the fear that once controlled you. You are not trapped in cycles that used to define you. You are delivered. You are commissioned. You are chosen. Your obedience has become a spiritual GPS, recalibrating your life to align with the original script heaven wrote over you. This is the time to move forward, not with haste, but with holy authority. Your steps are now ordered, not by logic, not by emotion, but by divine design. Heaven has crafted a path tailored to your purpose, and you are ready. Not because you feel ready, but because heaven said you are. So breathe deeply now. Let the weight lift. Let the confusion melt. Let the fear die. For you are now covered, calmed, and crowned. Your crown is not for decoration. It is for dominion. You were not saved to play small. You were saved to set captives free, to carry light into dark places, to walk in rooms as a divine disruption, to shift atmospheres just by showing up. And you will. Michael now blesses your path with this final affirmation. Go. Go without fear. Go without delay. Go in the strength of the one who called you. Your past has no permission in your future. Your pain has no dominion over your purpose. Your fear has no grip on your crown. This final shift is not external. It's internal. Your mind is now catching up with your spirit. Your soul is remembering the truth. You are heaven's answer in the earth. You are not a mistake. You are not a fluke. You are a vessel of divine glory. Let these words burn into your soul. You are covered. You are called. You are crowned. Now rise. If this prophetic series has spoken to your soul and confirmed what God has already been stirring in you, we invite you to support this movement with a super thanks of $10. Your offering helps us continue to produce powerful content that releases light in dark places. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And for more revelations, divine strategies, and real-time prophetic words, subscribe now. Let this channel be your spiritual lifeline as you rise into your God-ordained future. Type I am crowned in the comments to receive this final sealing. Blessing code 1444 is surrounding your life now with unshakable glory.